Sorry about that. So we were late and we had a delay with the kids. I'm going to try, so I apologise in advance. I'm going to try and get through this quite quickly because I know it's just some guy, you know, cooking in front of a barbecue. It's not that exciting. I'm going to try and do a few things. First of all, of how I've set up. So I'm just grilling today. So I obviously can't do sort of low and slow stuff in 20 minutes. So I just thought I'd do some grilling. So what I've got for you is goat shoulder. It's been boned, preserved lemon, garlic, thyme and olive oil. So we're going to grill that. I was going to make, as you see on the message I went out earlier on, I was going to do something slightly different, the pinchos moronos. But I thought, do you know what? If people are unfamiliar with goat, they've probably heard about goat and jerk. So I did some skewers, which is basically just diced neck fillet, and that is going to be skewered. That's in a jerk marinade. And what else am I going to do? Oh yeah, and these ones. So this is minced goat, and this is like a Turkish flavour. And what I've done with this, which I normally do, and I think it's a really good tip if you're skewering stuff, because I find it quite hard to get the skewers to stay on when you're grilling. What I do, I'm going to shut this a minute, it's getting really hot. Is put the mince. I actually put it in the KitchenAid and as if it was bread dough and beat it, but you can just use your hands and knead it, because what you want to get to is that kind of, I don't know if you go where you can see that sort of lacy texture. What that does, it allows it to bind a bit better, so it'll stay on the skewer. So what we're going to do first, the setup, as I said, is grill. I've also got the half moon in the back, just a little get out area in case everything gets a bit too fiery. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is put the shoulder on, because that's probably going to take the longest. So as I said, that's just been marinating in preserved lemon, garlic and thyme overnight. It's good to get the citrus in it early, so it starts to break the fibres down, and it sort of tenderises the meat for you. So that's just going to go on here. Skin. Oh, we're going to burn a lot of time doing that. Skin side down. Give it a bit of protection. You can hear that. Oh, there she goes. So just a little bit of season that with a little bit of sea salt. I say a little bit of sea salt, quite a lot of sea salt. And well, I'll just leave that. Close the lid, so I can top bend a little bit. Now, I'm cooking at home, so I'm not going to wear gloves and hand sanitizer and stuff because it's my house, and it's my family that will be eating it. So I don't feel like I don't have to be quite as what's the word? Cautious. So I'm just going to put these on, and you can see because I've kneaded the meat, it all sticks together quite nicely. Do you see that? So that's actually going to stay on. There you go. It's actually going to stay on the skewer pretty good, I think. So these skewers, by the way, a shameless plug for Alex, but they're made by Alex Pole, and they're amazing. So I'm going to do two of them. Mika, you've come back. What is it you want to do? You're going to come and help me cook, Mika? All right. I don't know how useful that'll be. So my daughter is obviously a bit of a fan of the camera. I'll get her back in a moment once I've done these skewers. So that you can just see, as I said, look, it feels like it's sort of one piece of, lift it up a bit. It feels like it's like one piece of meat rather than lots of different bits of meat, as mince can feel, obviously. And I'm just going to flatten that out a little bit because it's easier to cook if it's flat. Just rub a little bit of olive oil on. Just rub a little bit of olive oil on them so they don't stick to the grill. And then we'll get them on. So, going into a lit grill, give it a burp. Oh, there we go. And we'll stick these straight on. I'm just going to use there we go. Maybe straight on like that. So they're looking pretty good. I'll just put the camera up so you can see how we're looking over here. There we go. Looking good, huh? There we are. So that's the first two things on. The next thing we're going to put on is the jerk skewers. So excuse me a minute, because there's so many things in this. I actually wrote them down and put them in front of me so I could remember to tell you what's in it. So the marinade is allspice, ginger, black pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, dried thyme, bay leaves, bunch of spring onions, brown sugar, soy sauce, juice of lime. It's a bit early for the splash of rum. And the other thing I didn't put in it, because the kids are going to eat it in a minute, is the Scotch bonnets. I haven't put chilli in any of this because it's quite hard to get the kids to eat it when it's got chilli, but I do have a solution for that. And the solution is this. It's Aleppo chilli. Comes in like a, smells really tobacco-y, and obviously it's not authentic, but if you do want to put some spice into something, but you don't want to cook it in it because you've got people who don't like it, then I just put a pot of this on the table, and then you can just add chilli as you want, as if it was pepper or salt. So that works really well for me. Right, more skewers. So as I said, this is, don't ask me what that marinade was again. You can put it in the FAQs later on, because it's just written down there and I want to concentrate and not stab my hand. So with these skewers, these are all going on after, again, this has had a night in the marinade. And we will put, the thing with skewers, I think that's if when you're cooking them, you bunch them up like that. What have you got there for me, Mika? Come on. What have we got? Lemons. Lemons and? What are the green ones? Green ones are? Limes.
Limes.
Yay! Thank you, Mika. Thank you very much. So, what I'm going to do with these lemons and limes, actually, is I'm just going to give them a little charring. One of my favourite things is charred limes and charred lemons. I also think my friend Mark Diacono wrote a book called Sour recently, talking about the kind of forgotten art that is cooking with sort of sour flavours. I think it's not something we do enough. I don't think, given that barbecue and the charcoal and the smoke is such a strong flavour, very few things cut through it. And I think lime is one of those things. So lime, lemon, generally citrus, is one of those things that really cuts through the sort of almost at times overpowering flavour of the charcoal and the flame. So in order to get that balance and to bring the best out of everything, I think you need quite a lot of lemon and, well, like quite a lot of citrus in barbecue cooking. So, again, this is my favourite, other than my children, this is my partner, this is the favourite. Anyone else I'm going to offend saying this? My mum, maybe? This is my favourite thing. My mum's not on Instagram, so it doesn't really matter. So, I love this thing, she can pick it up like that. So there you go. Probably not got the sort of colour that we want on it just yet, but I'm sure it will. We've got plenty of time. Just have a look at these barbecue skewers. Getting a bit smoky. Just lean back a minute. Just look at these barbecue skewers. Now this is the bit where I pick the barbecue skewers up and they fall off, and you think I don't know what I'm talking about. Please hope it doesn't happen. Okay. So here we go. Pick the barbecue skewers up. Wait for it all to fall off. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh no, they stayed on. Great. So, I wasn't talking nonsense, which is unusual for me. Right, there we go. So they have flipped over. They're getting a nice bit of colour. Once I've got the jerk skewers on, I will pick the camera up again. As I was saying with these, anyway. Look, if you pack them really close together like that, you're not going to be able to get this bit in here stays raw. So when you're cooking skewers on the barbecue, just give them a bit of space, so you can let the heat get inside. See that? We'll put them on there. Actually, let me do it like that. Like that, and there's one more of them. I have left this barbecue lid open for too long. Things are starting to get a bit fiery, so I'm hoping I'm going to knock these out pretty fast. And then I can close the lid. So it's getting a bit fiery in there now. Okay, so we've got all of that on. We've seasoned everything, which is good. The burnt lemons are just sitting there getting nice and charred, so we can use them to add a bit of flavour later on. The other thing about these things, they just look so great when they're charred. So, yeah, not only are they taste really good and bring out the best of the other flavours, they also look really funky. So I'm just finishing off here. Okay, so my barbecue tongs out again. Give this a turn. Oh yeah, it's starting to look good. So we're at the point now where I can shut this and we can let it do a little bit of cooking. Obviously we're going to retain the marinade there, and we'll retain the mix from the marinade for the preserved lemon shoulder. I'm going to show you something else, because although I said earlier on I didn't want to do I couldn't do a low and slow in 20 minutes. I did think you'd probably want to see one. So I have hidden behind here, it's going to have to be picked up and moved, so it might get a bit jiggly, is the Minimax. And in there we have a little parcel of delight, and that is, so, oh, can you see it? Oh, I'm just in the wrong, there we go. Twist my arm around a little bit. That is the foreshank from the shoulder that is in there. And what I've done with that was put it on about, my daughter went up at 6:30 this morning, so I had plenty of time to cook. I put it on at about 7:30, and as you can see, it's just puffing away nicely there. And every now and again, I just go back in, give it a bit, oh, hang on, there we go. Give it a bit of a baste, give it a bit of a baste, give it a bit of a baste. And it just started to fall apart really nicely there. So I did manage to do a little low and slow, because I thought you'd be interested. And it's marinating in wild beer, Millionaire's barbecue sauce, which is bloody lovely. It's kind of like a barbecue sauce for grown-ups. Doesn't have that real sort of sickly sweet, overpowering, taste that you can get that kind of swamps all the food in some barbecue sauces. So all I've done with that is just give it a bit of a season, chucked a bit of the barbecue sauce on it, put it in a low egg. Not all that concerned about the temperature of that. Obviously you don't want it to get like up to 150, 160. Not all that worried about the temperature of it, because it's wrapped in the foil and it will steam as well as smoke. So, right, let's see how we're getting on here. A bit of a burp. Oh. Okay, so where's my? I mean, he makes those by hand. It's mental. So anyway, we'll give that a bit of a turn. It's starting to get a bit more colour in it now, which is good. That is almost done. That first kofta there is almost done. You can tell, because they shrink a lot because they leach a lot of fat, and they also go really firm once they're done. So one of them is done. Oh, it's delicious. Right, so I'm going to show you. We've just turned these ones actually. Oh, that feels like it might be a bit sticky. Oh, just give me a moment. Oh, yeah, definitely stuck on. Because I didn't oil it. See, I oiled the koftas and they didn't stick, and I didn't oil the skewers and they did stick. There's a lesson there for everyone, I think. So anyway, just give those a turn, and I'll show you what I'm serving everything with. So really, really easy, really, really cheaty. This, believe it or not, is called chopped salad. And my friend Matt, who does a lot of the food development in Cabrito, it's one of his favourite things, and it's just chopped up veg, chopped up salad. So it's chopped tomato, chopped cucumber, chopped spring onions, and chopped little gem. And it's just really simple, really nice and refreshing and light salad. So I just do one of them every now and again. Obviously the kids don't eat it. So a little bit of that. And I've also served it with some bulgur wheat. So I really like bulgur wheat. I mean, there's lots of different ways of cooking it. It makes amazing pilaf, obviously. But that can feel quite complicated. It isn't, but it can feel like, oh, I've got to get pot and I've got to chop some onions and stuff. You can just boil it till it's cooked and then drain it. You know, eat it cold. So actually, it's really, really great, really fast. It's brilliant with fish. It's brilliant with lighter meats. It's also lovely on its own. With like some feta, or just as a salad, some roasted grilled veg or something. So that's what we're going to serve with it. So we're going to do bulgur wheat and chopped salad. And then when it comes to sort of presentation with these, it'd be really nice if we could lay the tongs across it, but we're not going to. So this is the first one. I'm getting these off. So as you can see, there's a lovely, nice colour on that. You see, and it's taken just dripped. I didn't write the recipe for the jerk on a piece of paper. I brought the computer out, and I just got kofta. Just dropped kofta juice all over it. Don't tell anyone. So there are the koftas on the plate there. We will go back and revisit. We'll go back and revisit this. Go back and revisit this shoulder. That shoulder might just take a little bit longer. Those jerk skewers aren't going to be too long. Hang on a minute. Just move those into a little bit of a hotter part. There we go. So, a little bit of lime on the plate, a little bit of lemon on the plate, like that. It's going to look a little bit like that. I'll pick it up, shall I? There we go. It's going to look a little bit like... where are we going? Where am I going? There we go. So look a little bit like that. The other thing I've got to go with them is this. It's coffee sriracha made by my friends at the Catalyst Cafe in Lamb's Conduit Street in Central London. It is they're a coffee roaster and cafe, but they've made sriracha with coffee in it, and oh my god! So I'm going to put some of this on, put some of this sriracha on. I know we're mixing cultures a little bit here, but who cares? It tastes good. And some flaked almonds. And then we'll go back to here and see how these jerks are going on. I have specifically gone out of my way not to have any breakfast this morning so I could eat this. Yeah, that's looking good. So I'm just going to taste this first kofta. You see how it's cooked all the way through like that? You see? Pretty good. Oh yeah. So quite cumin heavy. It's great. There's a little bit of paprika in there as well. Those kind of base flavours are really nice, but the texture is the thing because you've beaten it with the KitchenAid, or you could just mince it with your hands. The texture of it is the thing. It's kind of, it feels like one thing. It feels quite smooth. Well, old thing to say about a kofta, but there we go. So between that, well, the jerk skewers. Got a rag in my hand. Just use that, James. There we go. So there you go. They are now done. So, those of you out there that haven't really tried goat before, didn't take very long to cook, huh? Yes, it's got the curry flavours in it, but I thought that might be kind of a good way for you to ease into it, but it doesn't take very long. It's not particularly difficult to cook. There's nothing unusual or different about goat that means it needs a long, slow cook. You just got to buy the right thing. And this is diced from the shoulder, so you can eat it just like you can lamb shoulder. I mean, a good rule of thumb really with goat is whatever you can do with lamb, you can do with kid goat. Whatever you can do with mutton, you can do with the ex-dairy goats that we sell. The word mutton is interchangeable in most cultures, so if you're buying, if it says mutton on a menu in the Caribbean, or it says mutton on a menu in India, it says mutton on a menu in North Africa, could be sheep, could be goat. Yeah, I mean, crazy. Now, why do we do what we do? Why do I think that's crazy? Dairy industry, until we came along, euthanizing upwards of 80,000 billy goats a year, because there was no market for them. Because we've got no cultural history of eating goat in the UK. And there was no market for the goats, so the farmers, unable to find a market for them, were forced to euthanize them. Which makes you think, wow, those farmers, terrible people. Well, we're all responsible for that, because we buy goat's cheese, therefore there is a goat dairy industry. In order to produce lactation, you require pregnancy. Pregnancy will give you a certain number of male kids a year, and if we're not prepared as a country to eat them, you can't expect the... There you go, that one's finished now. You can't expect the farmers to rear goats they don't have a market for. So in an overwhelming number of cases, they were euthanized. Which, how long have we been on now? 20 minutes? It's taken me 20 minutes to turn one shoulder into 3 different delicious dishes. 4 if you include that, but that took a bit longer. This is all one piece of meat. This is all from the shoulder. So we've done the mince, we've done the dice, and we've done the foreshank, and we've done the bone shoulder, all from one shoulder of one animal. So it didn't take me it doesn't take a lot of effort, and it didn't take me very long. But what you do is you reduce the waste in the food system. And I think we all want to reduce the waste in the food system. I mean, it does my head in that a dairy system was built predicated on the idea that you'd euthanize 50% of the animals in that system that were born every year. I mean, that's bonkers. And it's bonkers from a moral and ethical level. It's bonkers because, I mean, any other system that had a 50% mortality rate on its farm would get shut down straight away. And we can't have systems like that in our food production anymore, where you're just predicated on 50% waste. It's madness. And all of those things are really crazy, but when you taste it and realise how delicious it is, it becomes even more crazy. So all of the animals that we sell would have once been euthanized. I mean, it's not the case now because we made a lot of progress, and the dairy industry itself should be applauded, and the farmers should be applauded for seeing an opportunity to change the way their industry works, and grasping it and getting hold of it, and sort of, yeah, grasping the nettle, as it were. So that's it. I have cooked. So here we go. I'll give you a little scoop through what we've done. So this is the jerk skewers. This is the kofta. It's a burnt lemon, chopped salad, bulgur wheat. And over there is, it's really hard to do with those. That is the marinated shoulder with the lemon juice and the garlic and the thyme. And in here, there is, look at the colour of that. Isn't that amazing? And that is, where's my spoon? Give me a minute to find my spoon. There's my spoon. So we'll just give this another little baste. This is the kid shank, or kid foreshank, I should say, with, there we go, it's just starting to, I think in another 25 minutes or so, that will be ready to go. So this is, as I said before, this is all one piece of shoulder with the neck on originally. So foreshank, bone shoulder, jerk skewers, kofta, burnt lemon, bulgur wheat, chopped salad. So I think that's it.